intro music right there. You know, since we only come in once in a while, you know, there's always updates and stuff, so haven't heard that one yet. But anyways, back to the game here. The very first game of the night, it's going to be Dignitas versus Karont3, and it's going to be a Protoss versus Zerg. And spawning over here at the 7 o'clock position of Khaydaria, we do have the blue Zerg player, and that is Karont3's Alistor. And down in the bottom right-hand corner, we do have the red Protoss player representing Team Dignitas. Pretty talented Protoss, I might add. It is d.BlinG.
Yeah, and d.BlinG's PBZ pretty good. This is interesting positions here. They're going to be relatively close to one another. And I think that's definitely pretty good for our Protoss player. He can launch a 2-base push pretty aggressively. He can try and safely take a 3rd. It's going to be difficult for the Zerg player to hold his 4th. Unless he wants to try and take a ninja 4th somewhere across the map, maybe in the top left-hand corner or something like that. But we'll just have to see what both these guys decide to do. It looks like we do have a pylon up at the ramp already for d.BlinG, so we're going to see some type of a forge fast expand here, more than likely. Potentially a Nexus first. It looks like it is going to be a Nexus first here, as he is saving up 300 right now.
Yeah, pretty late Nexus, too. 17 Nexus.
No, he's going to drop it. No. No. There we go. There's the Nexus.
So Nexus is coming down, and he didn't, he wasn't able to do what all Protoss players love to do, which is block the natural hatchery with the pylon or a probe. He actually let it come up, so Alistor is going to get a little break right there. I know as a Zerg player, whenever I can get the hatchery down, Pain User, it's always nice. So that's that, but you made a great point in the beginning. Where does the Zerg grab the 4th? Not too sure how I feel about this one. I mean, it's not terrible, like, for example, on a map, I'm trying to think of a terrible map for Zerg 4th expansions, Antigua Shipyard.
Yeah, that'd be one, for
yeah,
sure.
That's a really bad one. But this one's not too bad. We'll see.
It's a little bit exposed. It does have 2 different points of entry. The Protoss player can get a proxy pylon behind those rocks and start to work those rocks down and then launch an attack from there. It's also tough to get the creep connected between the 3rd and the 4th if the Protoss player finds a way to deny some of those early creep tumors. So as of now, Alistor is just continuing to macro up here. He did, as you mentioned, get his natural expansion up. Not sure why d.BlinG didn't block that. He's going to go ahead and throw up 1 cannon here. He does have his gateway and his forge complete, and we'll see if he decides to build a zealot or not.
Ooh, very nice by Alistor there. He saw the photon cannon and said, nope, I'm going to turn it around. Shows that he was paying a great deal of attention to his scouting overlord, unlike some Zerg players such as myself.
I think it's pretty standard. I can't remember the last time I saw a Zerg player lose an overlord to the cannon except you. But you macro so fast. There's just so much going on. You can't control all the units at once.
That's a great way to put it, Pain User.
You need to up your hive mind control. Your psi emitter energy needs to be boosted.
Interesting spot here for Alistor to put the hatchery. He actually threw it down at the he threw it down here where we thought this was going to be the 4th. Maybe doing that because, based on the way they've spawned, he didn't want to put the hatchery so close to the Protoss player.
I still don't like it. It's going to be much more difficult to connect the creep to there. Yeah. It also exposes his 3rd to a ton of potential harassment from the Protoss player.
You can actually creep from here downwards.
You can.
But you can't get reinforcements down there because there's a cliff. So, yeah, that's a good point. We'll see what happens, though. And, you know, getting the first win in a series like this is always good because it's a Winners League format. You want to stay in there and keep fighting. You don't want to be the guy on the team who, like, charged first, bearing the flag, and then you got shot down. That's not good for
sure. If you think about it, though, creeping from the main to the 3rd doesn't really do anything because that hatchery is going to creep it anyway. And then the units also have to run out the front anyway. So creeping this is going to be much better. His main problem. And if d.BlinG can shut that down or do some sort of a 2-base all-in and get in there before the creep eventually connects, that 3rd could be really isolated and could potentially expose him for taking a ton of damage. But we do have a robo coming down already, so and 3 additional gates here. So 4-gate robo thus far from d.BlinG, and our Zerg player does have all 4 gases down. No layer just yet, I don't believe, and no additional queens either. So
let's see how many queens he's got. 3. Not as important in Zerg versus Protoss to get a bunch of queens like it is in Zerg versus Terran, but still always nice unit to have. He is throwing up a Roach Horn, and there comes the lair now. But did he get the Zergling speed? No. That's interesting. So he's going to not get Zergling speed this game. but he's making 8 Zerglings. And I wonder if he's just waiting on the speed, he's going to get a little later, or if he's just going to use a composition that doesn't involve Zerglings at all. That's kind of interesting. We do have a Stalker coming out here.
It seems like he is saving up a lot of gas, so it could be a potential Mutalisk play here. The Roach Warren could just be for security. He's also dropping an Evolution Chamber, so when the layer comes up, if he does get Roach speed and starts to get upgrades off that Evolution Chamber, we're probably going to see Roaches here, but the lack of Zergling speed is kind of interesting. It just makes me think he's saving that extra 100 gas just to get the Spire up that much quicker and also get that many more Mutalisks out.
Possibly, yeah.
He already has 600 gas. Here comes Roach speed, though, and a bunch of Roaches.
So
still floating 400 gas, though.
Yeah, that's weird. I wonder, so he's going to go for like a Roach, a lot of Roaches with Roach speed, but no Zergling support, which is interesting because then Immortal Sentry can kind of deal with that, I feel like. And here comes a third Nexus for Bling. But that's weird. I wonder if at some point Alistair's going to be like, oh crap, I forgot Zergling speed.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. He's going to go ahead and get Carapace +1 here off the Evo Chamber. Hydralisk Den coming as well, so that's why he's not even going to use Lings all together. Getting an Infestation Pit as well, so it looks like it's going to be a Hydra, Roach, Infestor timing push here on the 3rd. Which could work out very well for him, but the Observer has spotted everything.
Yeah, it saw the Hydralisk Den.
So he will know this is coming. He's probably going to try and get up to Colossus very quickly here.
Oh, for sure. I mean, did that Observer go down? No, just barely makes it out. You made a good point, though. I mean, the Bling coming in here, and he sees the Hydra Den, and he knows that, obviously, that's not a counter-response to Stargate play, because there's no Stargate coming out from Bling. So to see the Hydra Den like that, my immediate response is Protoss. Definitely go for quick Colossus or Storm, and I did see a Twilight Council coming down, so maybe he's going to opt for the Storm route. But I actually think Colossus is the right response once you see a Hydra Den, so I'm surprised he's not getting a support bait right now.
Yeah, Immortals definitely lose their effectiveness, and Sentries do as well to an extent. I mean, the great thing about Hydras with range is they can continue to fire even after being zoned out by force fields.
Yeah.
You pointed out that he is adding these 6 Infestors here, so that could give him potential timing with Infested Terrans. He could do like a Roach Hydra Infested Terran push, or he might just sit back, grab his 4th here, grabbing his 4th and 5th actually at the same time here. So maybe Alistair doesn't want to be offensive at all. Maybe.
I think he's playing a pretty passive game.
Maybe it's just purely defensive here, going to save up energy on those Infestors, get enough for several fungals, and just make sure he's 100% safe. I love the SimCity here at the 3rd for Bling, adding a ton of gateways, and it looks like he might just fully wall that off all the way across to the top.
Templar Archives is coming now, so Bling is not going to use Colossus at all, but having said that, Alistair hasn't really made any Hydras, so
no,
it almost seems like he made the Hydra Den just because it's nice to, I guess, have in case you want to tech switch to it eventually. But
yeah, definitely.
To be honest, he never even upgraded the Groove Spine, so it doesn't seem like he has intentions for Hydras. But he is going Roach Infestor right now, which, to be honest, isn't a bad composition. But as Zerg, you're going to want to get up to Hive, and you know what? He does have his Hive almost finished, along with the Spire. So at this point, I feel like neither player is going to engage. I think they're playing a very passive game, and that'll probably stay that way for a while.
Yeah, and you just mentioned Hive on the way, Spire on the way, so we're probably going to see Broodlords here in just a little bit, more than likely. And actually 2 Spires on the way.
Wow. So
going to go heavy on the air upgrades, definitely going to get a greater Spire here, and just really trying to buy time. But we do have a pretty sizable mass of charge. Do they have charge yet? I believe they do.
That's a good question.
Yep. Yeah, so a pretty good mass of Charge Lot Archon here with a few Immortals for support. And, you know, it's going to be tough for Alistair to hold this because really all he has is Spines, Roaches, and he does have those Infestors, but Immortals are great against all of those things, as are Charge Lots. I mean, Charge Lots aren't great against Roaches, but they can soak up a lot of damage from the Spine Crawlers. They can also soak up a lot of damage from the Roaches, while the Immortals just bust through everything.
Here comes the attack, potentially, from Bling. He's got a Warp Prism for reinforcements as well.
He's also maxed.
Yeah, he's also maxed, so that's big because we can see that the Zerg is still at 165 supply. I think he was waiting for Broodlords, but this attack is designed to attack before Broodlords come, and we have Hallucinated Colossus as well. And here we go, and those Hallucinated Colossus could pose an issue for Alistar. It might make him change his mind about engaging, but he's going to go anyways. And now the Zealots are going to go down pretty quickly to all these Roaches, but he's getting force fielded. He needs to fungal. There we go. Does he have enough in reinforcements to hold off this attack?
I don't know. A lot of fungals going down, a lot of units going down as well for Alistar. Supply dropping rapidly, 112 to 174 right now. And this 3-base Charge Lot Archon attack from BLING might be just the perfect timing. He might actually be able to go for the main. It looks like he split off his forces, half of them going to the natural, half of them going to the third. And I think that's just game right there. I mean,
I really like the split too.
I'll be amazed if he recovers from this.
Well, I really like the split too, because as Zerg, when you're dying like this, you want to mass up all your army at your natural or your main, but this army comes in and says, no, you're not going to mass up army. I'm going to fight you right now. And that's going to buy his forces enough time to kill off this hatchery. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard for Alistar to recover from.
And yeah, all the reinforcement units just streaming into this gigantic ball of Immortal Archon Charge Lot Stalker. And now he's going for the main. He's going to get all the production buildings as well as the hive here. And GG's called. Alistar takes a fall in the first game of this series between Dignitas and Karont3.